Hey everyone, I'm back and today we're going to be talking about Fatal Attraction. And this movie came out in 1987 and stars Michael Douglas and Glenn Close. And I enjoyed this movie. I didn't love it. I thought it was well made and it worked well for what it was going for the most part. And my favorite part of the movie would be the second act. I think there's lots of intense scenes in the film in that portion. And I'm the most engaged in the second act as well. And like I said, there's some nice intense scenes and there's some really interesting shots in the film that I really liked. And it conveyed some like intense emotion. And it's like the way it was shot, it was like almost kind of like it was kind of very simple. And the story of the film, it kind of reminded me of an Alfred Hitchcock movie, where it's nice and simple, and once you do one wrong thing or something goes wrong, it just like expands and kind of goes south. And I really liked that. It worked for what it was going for, and a bit like a Hitchcock movie, kind of like Psycho the most for me in the third act. That's what it kind of reminded me of. Not nearly as good though, and that's my least favorite part about the movie is the third act. And without spoiling anything, the entire time I was watching that scene, I was just thinking to myself, this is kind of just a worse version of Psycho. And you could argue the whole movie is kind of inspired by that, but the third act is where it felt the most like that. I thought the performances were good. I thought Michael Douglas was great, and Glenn Close, I liked her as kind of a crazy person who just obsesses over wanting someone in her life, and her just like losing her mind and going absolutely insane. And she pulls that off really well, but she doesn't really pull off the in the beginning of the movie where she's like supposed to be attractive and like really you would want to be with her or like have an affair, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, I just didn't buy that Michael Douglas's character was interested at all in having an affair with her, because the entire time she just came across as a creep to me. And maybe that's because I've seen the movie before, but I just didn't buy the fact that he would want to do this. It's like he could have picked any woman, really, and she was just conveniently there. And that kind of bugged me, and that was one of my least favorite parts of the film. But once you get past that, then the story starts to get good, and I really enjoyed the drama of the situation and how things could just get crazy, and eventually, and at a certain point, things get so bad that Michael Douglas has to threaten Glenn Close's character to stay away from him, and eventually things just they start fighting physically and not just with words, and that's another thing that I liked about it. I wasn't really a fan of the child performance in this movie. I didn't think she was very good. I just never bought that she was a character in the film. I just thought, like, oh, it's a kid in a movie. And unfortunately, that's all I could see. And this movie does have a lot of the same scene in it, and the reason I'm okay with that, this movie is kind of repetitive, but the reason I'm okay with that is because it's not pointless and just having the same thing happen over and over again just for the sake of drawing out the runtime, and they basically like run out of ideas. It's because that with each passing scene, things just get crazier and crazier, and also the tension is like being built slowly but surely, and by the end of it, it's a release. And I just really enjoyed the build with every scene. Like in this scene, something goes wrong, and the next scene, something goes wrong, and characters aren't taking it very well, and it just keeps going up and up and up and up and up and up and up, and eventually it just snaps, and it just goes really crazy, and that's what I like about it. And that's about all I can say about Fatal Attraction without spoiling anything, and I guess I kind of did tap in a little into spoiler territory without realizing it. Sorry. But I do feel as though everything I said is necessary for you to feel as though watching this movie is worth your time. And I don't think I said anything that you won't be expecting if you were to watch this movie. And there is a lot of things that hold this movie up, and it doesn't quite reach the level of some of my favorite movies ever, but it doesn't really have to. And it just it knows what it wants to achieve, and it achieves it, and I'm happy with this. And go check this movie out. And with all that being said, I'm going to give Fatal Attraction a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought of Fatal Attraction, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Crimson Peak. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.